He was actually the guy who started the marathon.
So the guy that originally started Marathon Coach started Legendary.
Ended up starting Legendary, yeah.
Right now I'm hanging out at Premier RV Services with Dave Rousey. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting in front of some RV history right now. Let me introduce you to Dave.
What's happening?
Dave has a ton of different stories, but in front of us right now, we have just an incredible amount of history in these books that are in front of us. Today we want to talk about Legendary Coach. A huge thanks to Dean Lauk's Fine Art for sponsoring today's video.
I'm in turtle mode. I really want to focus on the turtles for a year. They are endangered. It's interesting to see how many eggs are laid, how many turtles go in the sea, and then how many actually survive later. I'm going to have many of my pieces down in Florida. That's where I'll be doing my work over the winter time. And I'd love to set up an appointment and meet you if you would like to have a painting. You can visit the shop in Elkhart, Indiana. You can always call the shop at 574-522-8838.
Dave has an incredible history in the RV world. Dave, how long have you been working on RVs and building RVs, and how long have you been in this game for?
Oh man, I started this back when I was 13. Started working in my dad's park up in Julian, California. Gee, it kind of started from there. I was skinning trailers, and next thing you know, later on in, I think it was 88, my dad was already working for Country Coach, Dave Rousey Sr., everybody knows Sr., and he got me a job there. And that's kind of where it all started. Manufacturing, working on the electrical side for a little bit in building 2, and then ended up in building 1, starting the Prevost conversions. But at that time, we started the concept build as well. Believe it or not, I actually started polishing the Prevost first.
Nice.
Yeah. That was my first thing until I got a job over doing the generator bay, which was doing all the electrical and doing the generator install and all that. But yeah, before that, I had to go ahead and start buffing them.
Nice. I can appreciate that and respect that. A lot of people don't know about Legendary Coach, and I've seen there's only about, what, 30 Legendary Coaches total?
Yeah, it's actually only 30 coaches that Legendary built, but there was 2 shells that we had ready to go, but I ended up being bought and purchased up in Canada.
What's the story behind Legendary Coach, and how did Legendary Coach become?
Actually, I'm probably not the best guy for that. It'd be like, there's some other guys, but it was a bunch of guys from Country Coach that actually started this. Tom Nestel, from what I understand, he actually started Marathon. Ended up working for Country Coach as a consultant. And then after that, I think there was a point there where Tom said, hey, I can do it better. So he was able to get some investors and started Legendary Coach with a lot of guys from Country Coach and some guys from Marathon, actually.
So he used to own Marathon before he owned Legendary?
Yeah, he was actually the guy who started Marathon.
So the guy that originally started Marathon Coach started Legendary.
Ended up starting Legendary, yeah. It was called Legacy for a little bit, from my understanding, then it ended up being called Legendary.
Wow. And was there a non-compete when they sold Marathon Coach?
Oh, I'm sure that had no ties. I mean, he was well out of Marathon when he started Legendary.
Okay, so
yeah,
he
many years later.
It was many years later.
Many
so
years later,
okay.
Yeah.
What year was this?
I actually started at Legendary in 05, and I think I caught him at Coach 4 is when I got in there. And I ended up working on the line with everybody, but eventually they moved me into being the service and warranty manager, because that's what I was basically there to do. I helped build like 3 units, so I went through the whole coaches in every stage, so I knew every stage of building the coach. So when I did represent the company out there, I knew every bit of the coach.
Wow.
And all the updates and all that. And of course, going to Prevost for classes and being updated with Prevost every year.
Yeah, wow. So how many years total did you work for Legendary?
It was probably a little over 2.5, because we actually went out. I started in 05, we went out in 07. But then I ended up starting my own thing. When I took over actually where Legendary was, for a little over a year, I had that building there, and I was able to accommodate some Legendaries that came in, and I would work on them there.
Doing service work and
Doing
repair work?
Yep,
Nice.
yep.
Keep them going. So
Yeah, and I was also on the phone, and that was about the time I was all on my own, and I was back, I did a lot of, I was all over the place.
yeah, that's
Working all
wild.
over, yeah.
Dave's got some incredible stories here. I think we're gonna have to make like 20 YouTube videos, or you might even need to get your own YouTube channel going, just with all the stories you have. This in front of us here, this is just really fascinating. Do you want want to tell us about some of these legendaries? And
Well, you know, actually, you know,
so this right here, hold on, I gotta show this. This actually reminds me that it's very similar to a Dean Lauk's paint job coach. It has a lot of similarities to it. That, you know, that's one of the newer coaches. So this is just a cool design ahead of the game.
basically who used to do our designs was Brooke. Brooke did all our designs, and she was awesome. And she would do all the designs and then get it pre-approved to Prevost, and then Prevost would say yay and nay on what type of painting they could do. And then most of the time she got her stuff passed. So a lot of her schemes were done. And then Prevost would paint it for us, and then Star would do all of our highlights. He would come in and do all our highlights, add in the flags.
Wow,
Stuff
so
like
this
that.
is cool.
You know, yeah, he would add in like the flags. I think our big thing when this company started was, being that it was legendary, had to do a little bit with like a space theme. So you'll notice on a lot of our coaches, you know, there was a planet, but later on we would have him come in and put in like different murals. Like there's a planet right there.
Kind of ghosted in there.
Yep. He would ghost them in there. And of course that one, there would be a star or something like that. But there's many of them like that. There you go. There's another one.
Oh yeah, with the little stars. I don't know if this
Stars or
camera's
planets
picking
and
up little
stuff.
stars. Yeah.
And then of course there's like a moon. You know, Brooke was pretty good about doing that stuff.
Are you getting called to work, man?
It's
Is lunch break over?
It's time to go deliver that.
Oh man! All right. Well, all right, guys. We're gonna have to pick this up here momentarily. Okay, guys. The legend Dave Rousey is back from working. He's been putting in work all day here, so we're in a much nicer coach now here than. I mean, Brian's coach is really nice.
It's really nice. It really is. I like it.
This is just a little bit more comfortable. So let's
It's
see.
a little more wide open.
Just a little bit. What's going on here?
Now, what we got here is some of the shots of some of the talented people that we had working at Legendary. Guys like Joel Mikowski, Dave Link, Rex Exley, my cousin Ryan Briggs, Mike Lilly, and Jeff Pillow. There was a lot of great people that worked there. You can see some of the talent these guys had, because a lot of this stuff we made right in-house, of course. All the way from solid surface to all the tile and all the wood. All the cabinetry.
So you have every legendary coach that ever was made here?
Yeah, I actually have a filing cabinet with everything, because I was a service and warranty. I ended up being the service and warranty manager for the company. Actually, we would. I have, like, when I left the company, I have all the filing cabinet, which is all the warranty work and stuff on every coach that we had out. And then I have a book on it which gives me all the color codes, and it also gives I have all the specs for every coach out there. The people that know me, they know that I have all that stuff, because I was on my own for about 5 years, and that's when I had made a big clientele of legendary people give them all to me. So we had 30 coaches built. And I ended up doing at least 20 coaches, servicing them there every so often.
Nice.
And every once in a while, one would pop up and say, "Hey," I mean, they're an easy coach to work on. People
For you.
Yeah, they're a pretty easy coach to work on. Really
If you're the guy that built them. Now,
So
this has that same star design with a star. I don't know. It's so
Planet.
hard to get the.
You got planet, and you
deal.
got all these stars, but look here how it reflects.
You can see all the stars there, kind of a star. And this reminds me a lot of some of the Dean Lauk style stuff that I've seen as well.
That's nice. Well, he's probably, he's been around for a long time, that's for sure. But I know Brooke, our design lady, was doing all these.
Yeah.
She was doing them all.
Beautiful coach. So is there any particular customers or any particular coach stories that you remember?
Well, what I would do is every time we finish a coach, I would drive it, believe it or not, 2,000 miles for fit and finish. So a lot of times when I would go out driving to service, the drive the coach, I would go out to other customers' house.
Oh, and do some repair work?
Do repair on their coaches as I went east.
Wow.
to our dealerships.
So you've driven almost every one of these coaches 2,000 miles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All 30 of them.
Oh, well, at least 25 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is really cool, man. Cool coaches to see here.
Yeah, so it was totally for fit and finish. So I'd come back with a list of stuff that needed to be done, and then the guys in the shop would all get together, and we'd all pull together and we'd fix whatever problem.
Yeah, this is really cool. What about customers? You've met a lot of customers, and I know I've met a lot of Country Coach and Legendary owners that know you. People that they know this is the guy you need to keep your wheels turning.
Country coaches too.
Yeah, Country Coaches, Legendary. You said Royale coaches.
Royals, yeah.
A lot of those.
I worked for Buddy Gregg's in Lakeland, Florida for 7 years. That's where I got a lot of my bus experience, was working with a lot of those guys back in the day.
In all of your years of being a legend in the RV world, what are some of your favorite customers? What are some of your favorite experiences in your, 39 years of?
Oh yeah, 39 years. Right now I deal with a lot of customers from here where I work now, which is Premier RV. But I still deal with a lot of my Legendary customers. But there's a couple I really like Coach number 2, which is my good friend John Clark. He has Coach 2. He lives up in Maine, and every year I get to go and work on his coach, or he actually does a retainer for me. So every year I get to go see him. Sometimes I get to meet him up in Florida, or I'll meet him up at his place in Maine. And a lot of times I do a lot of my stuff on the side, so I do it on the weekends, so.
Yeah.
But I do offer a few things. Actually, I have, from when I used to do all the work on these, I have an original 17-page list for PDI in the coach. So it actually puts my hand on every part of the coach.
Yeah.
And then it also adds in a retorque for all the electrical. And then checking all the systems.
So you do a fly-out service as well, where you'll show up, do all the service work on the side when you're not working here at Premier.
Yep, I'm not working.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Kind of for select few owners, because they only made 30 of these buses. So,
Right.
And then there's only so many Prevost Country coaches out there. Wow. Now, do you want to get a little bit more into the story of Legendary Coach? And so it was the Marathon founder of Marathon. He started it. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you what I know. It was Tom Nestel, worked for Country Coach, and when I guess when they had some issues on the consultant part, he started Legacy with a bunch of investors actually from local area, and then a lot. And then he ended up, I think he had to do something with the Legacy name because that was still part of the Country Coach, I think, item. So he went ahead and changed it to Legendary Luxury Coach. Working there was quite fun. It was like a family. We were a tight family there. That was actually some of the best times I had working in the RV industry, was working at Legendary. We were a really tight-knit group. Everybody got along. Great leadership. I mean, the guys really tried all the time. And but the market didn't help, and it really messed us all up. So.
Yeah.
That was our demise. Was actually when the 07.
Yeah.
When 07 hit and all the gas fuel prices and all that went crazy.
Yeah, and you guys aren't the only company that happened to. This is really incredible to see all of this. Any special things? I'm looking like the bowl sink here, like that. For the time, that bowl sink was really modern. I mean, the interiors. You guys really did a great job with the interiors.
Yeah, we used to do 4 floor plans, A, B, C, and D, but we had variations on each one of those. As far as the patterns and the wood and all that stuff. So A would be a split. Would be like a split in the back, so it'd have a toilet over here, and then a shower and stuff would be over here. And I know there's a picture of it somewhere in here. There it is.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That was our shower. So it was on this side over here was actually like a hallway coming into the other side of the bedroom. So there'd be like a hallway right here, or a divider, where it had 2 pocket doors.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
And I think Tom's whole thing was to make it look like a yacht. That's why we actually did the automotive paint on the cabinetry for quite a while. But then when that kind of failed, we went to painted cabinetry. So that worked out really good for us, painting different colors and stuff like that, instead of just doing the wood veneer with the clear over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some issues. But then when, believe it or not, I got my father to come work with me, and he kind of helped us out. He took over as the production manager, and he came up with how to fix all that stuff. He got a bunch of guys together, and they came up with a way of drying it. And then the next thing you know, we were able to start doing veneer, and I think that was by Coach 26. We started doing veneer again because we had been out of it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we went back into it, and then that's when we were trying to group with Royal, and so we went to a big old rally with Royal. It looked like we were about to bond with them, and next thing you know, we would have been building a Royal type legendary coach. So we would have more wood because that's Royals. They love that wood.
Yeah.
And real simple. They kept it real simple. So we were trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
But then when the market came, that hurt us, and then we couldn't do the deal with Royal to keep that going.
Yeah.
So it was a big bummer. But we were that close to actually combining with Royal Coach.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more stories we're going to have to get. I bet you a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions for you in the comments section. I'm looking forward. It's an honor to have Dave Rousey, absolute legend in the RV industry. I mean, a lot of people, I've heard your name. I've been hearing your name for years, and it's an honor to be sitting with you here. Dave, you've got a last name that's really familiar. I've heard a little legend. You got a cousin that might be a little bit famous?
Yeah, she's pretty famous. Her name's Ronda Rousey. She's definitely famous. She's a great person too.
Yeah, the MMA fighter. I definitely wouldn't mess with her. So I probably wouldn't mess with you either if you're in the same bloodline. So.
No, I wouldn't mess with her at all. There's no way, dude. She'd kick all our butts.
How does that work? Do you consult for clients, or how do you get compensated when people call you? Do they have you on retainer, or how does that work?
Lately, I've had it to where everybody has me on a retainer. But lately, more lately, I've been trying to do like $150 an hour, or they could do a subscription, which we would talk about that.
So that's just to kind of talk, if someone's in a tough situation and need you to help them troubleshoot, you're the guy that built these, you're an expert on this.
Right.
They can call you directly. Just while we're here, is there a phone number or email address that you give them if people have a country? So you only deal in Prevost Country Coach, Prevost Royale, and Prevost Legendary coaches.
Yeah.
That's what you're an expert in. What's the email address?
It'd be daverjr4@gmail.com.
Looking through these books here at RV History, so can't thank you enough, man. So.
And I appreciate all the guys that worked there, before me. I'm not taking no credit here, but it was a great time. We loved it. I loved it, and all my guys I've talked to still, we all miss it.
I can't thank you enough. I'm sure the folks out on YouTube agree. They can't thank you enough.
Right on, brother.
I greatly appreciate all of you liking these videos and subscribing to the channel. Make sure you subscribe so you meet more people like this, hear more cool stories like this. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Take care now.